History will definitely not forgive you if you don't listen to this epic story, a moment of history that have actually broken for massive years of record in the Gambia. We are right here today at the National Health Center right in Farato. And if we are talking about development, there are certain things about health in a particular country that you need to understand. Africa have come to a point where we cannot be counting development by only ordinary infrastructures, cars, or whatever you think about it. But here, what you've seen here is not only serving as a history for a lot of people, but this is a lifesaver. Development like this, I'll tell you, if you check the mortality rate in Africa, you will discover that one of the reasons why we keep losing a lot of people that money could save, is because we don't have good health facility. Where Gambia have decided to step out of the nation that said, okay, in as much as Africa is still struggling with everything, but it is never too late that we can do better. Habibi, what you are seeing here is not only a hospital, this is a whole community. We are the world Gambians, including every single nationals in this country, can be treated with emergency alert response center. And you don't want to ask the question like, how come things like this is happening and you don't know? Well, this was the reason why I said, maybe your independent media houses needs to do more. Because buildings like these, development like this, beauty like this, should be flooding on everyone's FYP. That simply means even people that are not social media conscious. But if you're asking yourself the question, how comes it is only a few people that are popping up about development like this? Well, it is to answer the question that Africans in general, we have this thing in us, the fact that we can criticize, but we cannot promote. I say every day, we cannot talk about good governance if we don't talk about good citizenship. So the government of the Gambia, I just want the world to know that development like this, you've not only chosen yourself, you've chosen every single person that is moving within the region of the Gambia. Because if you have a hospital that have more than 1,500 beds, and not only that, they've gotten every single emergency center for critical things that they've been treating before. One of the man was saying that during COVID, that they lost people because they were attacked by pest disease or whatever thing. But today, they've created a whole response center for that. So now you cannot just take samples to the lab. Every single treatment, every single field, they have their own lab, Habibi. They even have a single building, a structure that they've placed to be banking blood. That is where, if you want to donate blood, if you need blood, that is where you have to go through. And not only that, even the imagery and scanning center, every single thing that has to do with scanning, it has a special building for that. What is happening here, even if you said these are projects that we are sponsored, what if we are unfortunate, or you people are unfortunate like other African leaders who have occupied themselves by robbers, by thieves, people who are stealing the country's money on industrial scale? If they have projects like this, I don't care who is sponsoring it, World Bank, IMF, whoever you call, they will squander the money and they will keep you guys crying on social media. But here today, President Amadou Barrow, with all the health partners, including the international one that partner to make sure this happens, they've made history here. That even if he's going to step out of power, a legacy have already been set. Something that even your children can benefit from. So you don't need to support the movement to appreciate work like this. But be a citizen, share this video and tell the whole world that when people say Gambia is small, that should be by square land geogravity or entity or probably population, but not development. Because they've gotten now a national health center, they've gotten a national laboratory to test drug and food, they've gotten one of the biggest universities in Africa. The entrepreneurship section is booming everywhere. Road construction every single day, even by the clicking of the clock by second, is improving. So why can't you see things like this and say, hooray? This is development. The work that is done here is a modern work. And if you look at how particularly how the buildings inside this hospital were actually structured, you will only discover beauty. But what you will discover here is long-lasting resilience and originality. And I will tell you something. One of the pillars of having a nation that is developed or developing is good health center. This is the reason why when we have a center like this, that do not only serve as a health center, but have the emergency aspect of it, that tells you that thousands or even millions of Gambians can now go to sleep and wake up and say, in case anything happens, there's an emergency response center. Habibi, what is happening in here, the flawless buildings, the gigantic walls, it all tells you that it is never too late to be part of the history as other countries have been. That once they've seen development and they've chosen that path to be there, it is never too late. That is why when Gambia stepped forward and said, we can tap into this as other countries have done it. Well, what we've seen here today in Farato have just explained the whole fact that yes, once other countries can do it, it is not magical. It is not just statement. Practically, we are coming and we can do it. Look at this beauty. Massive walls, flawless roofing. Habibi, this is an actual epitome of luxury, development, and beauty that inspires the generation or a country that want to move ahead. Today, what you are just seeing here is not just an ordinary building. This is going to inspire history. In this hospital, they've introduced modern technology such in a way that probably we've been hearing about it, but we've not seen it. They've created different labs of different medical areas. I mean, labs that could solve critical problems. For every single problem that you have, I'm telling you, this hospital have 5 to 6 major departments. And that is to tell you, those departments can be dealing with critical health issues that you and I might be going through today.
We have an outbreak like COVID. You can admit people here and they will, the chances of them cross-contaminating or infecting each other will be limited. You understand? And you can see that's why you have this, sort of for privacy and just to make sure that, if somebody coughs or sneezes, you understand, you will not transfer the sin. Yes, and this is also something where you can have a protein.
And I've seen so much modern technology that have been placed in this hospital. Not only the labs, not only the equipment, but the fact that even the beds, they have huge amount of technology within it, that it is an automated bed. You can be in that bed and call directly for an emergency, or if you want to talk to the medical doctor. And not only that, they've created a machine at the engineering center wherein these machines can print auto 3D or whatever thing that you have in mind that you want to create. That particular machine, it can actually print it. But hey, there's more of this machine. They even have a gigantic aspect of it where if you want to print the rubber or probably the least part of it, you can use the other machine. But hey, in case now you want to use mental now and say, for example, I want to do a gearbox, I want to do this, that machine can generate that sample and bring it exactly as you want. These are facilities that our politicians have been traveling for in overseas countries. Say, I'm going for medical checkup, I'm going for medical this. Habibi, you are going nowhere anymore. There is already an improvement now that you don't need to go for medical checkup. You can do this here. So, if Gambia as a small country have an emergency or national health center here, right at Farato, it's a lot of thanks to the president himself. It's a lot of thanks to the Ministry of Health. It's a lot of thanks to every single partners of be it foreign or national one that make sure this particular thing happen. Because one thing I like about Gambian, I heard the other man that was teaching people said, they face a lot of things before COVID-19 or even during the time of Ebola. And these are challenges that have served as health emergency issues. For that reason, they did not just sit and complain about them. They did something about it. So when you see buildings like this, you should know that in time to come now, Gambia is going to be part of the African country that will be solving critical health emergency issues. This massive community known as a national health center. We've also got buildings that promoting entrepreneurship today. They are also working on the road infrastructure. Just like the Chinese government said, just build roads and with that, you can connect the people. Well, I had that from Seoul to where. Thank you very much, brother, for giving me that today while we are taking the drive. So, Habibi, if you are seeing things like this, I want you to share it to a friend today. That whilst you are critiquing your government, but I also want you to know, you can never have development like this if you don't have a government that have the people at heart. Because you and I have been seeing, or probably hearing it in other neighboring countries, how wicked, how gullible, how selfish and greedy leaders are emasculating, punishing and treating or maltreating their people today. In fact, if not because the fact that chicken is now cheap in the market, you could have equate the price of the chicken to that of the humans in their country. Because there is no difference. Their justice is denied, no good health center, no good academic system, no good light facility. Like literally the only thing working are the people. And those that cannot bear it are dead. So if you have a country that has something that they can restore, something that they say will prioritize health, Habibi, any country you want to go, the reason why we said we call them ultra or modern developed country is because even if you have a flu, there's an emergency center for it. And here, bro, every single department has lab, every single department has its required equipment, every single department is functioning in a way that they've provided it with everything. And they do not only do that, they created a whole engineering center that can be controlling every single equipment that will be distributed across the whole hospital and across each and every single department. So they do not only have a functional department, they also have an engineering center where they will be repairing equipment, they will be monitoring them and make sure everything is intact. We spend all the time making these videos, getting footages, blending everything together to make sure we provide you with this information. There's something that a lot of you actually don't like to hear, saying a lot of thanks to the president. Well, that's more coming from an ungrateful person that sees projects like this and said, you cannot throw shout out or thanks to the president, him and his government. Well, I wanted you to know, if you being in opposition without the help of government, if you can do this. But Habibi, this is the development, and we are right at Farato National Health Center.
Mozambique TV.